Hello friends, Those Back Pages here. I hope you're well. Tonight's episode, as you can probably guess by the title of this, we're going to be talking about third-party grading. Been seeing a lot of talk about third-party grading, post-national, pre-national as well. And, it's... Let's start off by saying all the companies make mistakes. All four of them. PSA, SGC, CSG, BGS. HDA is not a real company. I'm sorry for you supporters, but it's not a real company. It's a fancy holder. And, we won't get into this company made that mistake, this company did that. It came to light today as I'm recording this that, PSA had authenticated an autograph authentication of a Justin Verlander, like a turn back the clock type of insert that was obviously not autographed. It was a photo of an autograph card from '05 Topps Chrome, I believe. But I think a lot of it's easy. People hate on PSA. They're number one. So they're the easy target. Oh, look, they made this mistake. Oh, they graded this trimmed card. They did that. They did whatever it may be. Here's the thing. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know how many cards they're kicking back for this, that, or third, or whatever it may be. We're not privy to that information. We're just privy to what, look at this, they graded a fake card, and, these sensationalized headlines that people make for their YouTube videos and their Instagram posts and other social media formats, whatever it may be. Because, let's face it, the negativity is what people swarm to in the hive mentality. So like I said, all four of them make mistakes. I personally am a third-party grader fan. I buy all four companies, not equally, obviously. I have my opinions on each of them individually. They each have their strengths and weaknesses, I suppose. For me, PSA is number one. This is new. I just got this in last week. It's from 2011 Topps Black. Topps Flagship Black, Aaron Rodgers in a PSA 8.5. You can see there in the back it's numbered to 60. I'm sorry, 55. 19 of 55 numbered there in the back. In the classic black flagship format. Very happy to have this in the collection for well under $100. And as I'm trying to focus more on quality versus quantity, and it's not, as I've mentioned many times, it's not always the easiest thing to do. And these cards are not always the easiest to track down. This was an auction that I happened to win. Now, for me personally, again, you can make your own top four. You can make your own video about it. No one's stopping you. I always encourage everyone to make their own content. And, explain why they feel whatever the type of way they do. For me personally at this time, and this is a card I've not shown off on the channel. For me personally at this time, CSG is number two. Now, CSG has their detractors. They started... I don't know if I've shown this one, but... I got this... I think this came in the mail while I was at the show, so... I think I won this for... something stupid, like $35 or something. which is funny now because now, you know, Pujols is on a home run streak this month, so everyone loves Pujols again. But this is the 2003 Bowman Chrome Refractor. It's not numbered. It is super shiny. It has etching, which someday you would hope that maybe Fanatics will bring back etching, because it really does make a difference regardless of what people say. Just makes the card pop more. Just look at that, you can see the outlining on his jersey. Anyway, this was the initial slab. The slab hasn't changed. The flip, this is called the flip. This was not well received by many people. I happen to like it. But, oh, there's so much white space. There's this, that. They had an option where you could get subgrades as well. I don't think I have any that handy that have the subgrades. There was another feature, you paid more money, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, they caved in. And they went with, this is the current flip now, with a black border. They changed their scale, their grading scale. Gem Mint's now 10. Gem Mint used to be 9.5. There's really no point in rehashing all of that. This CSG has the best plastic in the game. Their plastic looks like glass. You can see through it. You really need to see one of these in person to understand what I'm saying. Those of you that I've spoken to privately and have picked some of these up have agreed with me. This happens to look great. This is the 2020 Topps Heritage Action variation for Ohtani in the 71 Topps design, and it just, the black border works with the black trim on the flip. You know, the back remains unchanged. Well, they moved the barcode and the serial number to the front, which was probably a good idea. But, you know, the hologram is the same. Just a really good looking, like I said, the clear plastic, the best plastic in the game. It's not even close. Best slabs. Now, you know, I don't really use the baggies on these, but I don't throw my slabs around either. And I'm not, you know, I don't know how scratched up. They don't seem to be get very scratched up very easily. Another pickup that came in the mail is this 2003 Upper Deck Michael Jordan base card from LeBron's rookie year. It's a retirement card for him. He's inactive, I guess you could say. I mean, technically, the CSG put this in the wrong. It's upside down. But what attracted me to this is facing to the right. It's a great image. There'll be more on that in a minute. Let's see. For me personally, number 3. Let's go over some mail first. I got in some of the stuff I've shown before. I guess I should start with that. Pretty sure I showed these before. But from 99 Upper Deck Hockey Series 1. Only one series that year, I believe. But this is the exclusives Gretzky. It's numbered 2/100. And I also picked up, that's number 4. I also picked up number 10, sorry, and a PSA 7. Also numbered there, 13 of 100. This one's number 10 of 100 there on the bottom. These are very difficult to find. They are numbered to 100, but you got to remember these are going on 24 years old now. And back in the 90s, something that was numbered to 100 was actually fairly difficult to track down, especially in the earlier days of the internet. And you know, I'm trying to pick up the other ones, but I haven't seen them. I've seen a couple raw ones, but you know, these were less than what the raw ones were going for. So You know, and that's another one of my reasons we live in the internet age, and this is important. You know, you're watching this on the internet. You know, are the grading companies perfect? Of course not. If you're expecting the grading companies to be 100% perfect, then that's not for you. The grading company is saying that, you know, we're deeming this to be near mint 7. You know, it's been said that, oh, you just got grader of death and he gave you all these low grades. Well, maybe he did. But, you know, them's the breaks. This Jeter I've also shown off. From 1999, upper deck. Numbered on the back, machine stamp to 100. These you just don't see. You know, these cards, you know, I was fortunate enough to, this was $45 at auction, believe it or not. And it just happened to come up at auction and I won it. And, you know, I intend on keeping it. You know, and there are other people, I think as time goes by, with, you know, this, what people are called the market correction and this and that and the third, whatever, that it's the rarer stuff. It's going to get locked away. You know, these cards numbered to 100 sounds like a lot, but they're not easy to track down, especially just going generic. You know, going generic eBay search, auction house search, you know, social media search, and I've asked, you know, I've put that out there. Hey, you know, I'm looking for, you know, you know, Gretzky refractors. Yeah, I'm trying to find a 94 Gretzky refractor where he hasn't turned into the Hulk. You know, there's a PSA 7 listed right now on eBay, but it's total green on the front. And the asking price is silly. So I will not be buying it. Look at that etching. You know, I'm very happy to have this in my collection, but I'd like some of the others as well. So yeah, how I mentioned that, you know, finding these cards not as easy as you might think. Oh, it's 100, you'll just find it. Not necessarily. The next card I'm going to show, I was probably one of my top wants on the top of my want list for the National this year. And I didn't see one. I did see a Jeter, but a friend of mine had it and he wouldn't sell it. I didn't see any of these Gretzky's. One of the top wants on my want list for the National, I don't know if I mentioned it in the video, but it was a Michael Jordan UD exclusives. Like I just showed the Jeter and the Gretzky's. So I had joked with a friend of mine because one friend of mine, he has two, and he had one graded and one was already being graded. So I had joked with another friend of mine, and you know, this was over the weekend of the National, and I had joked with him that, well, I don't see any of these there, so when I get home, another friend of ours, I'm going to text him and say, hey, what do you want for it? Give me a price. And I'll just ask him every day. Sure enough, that Monday he got home. Hey, that Jordan exclusives. PSA 9. 2003. Number to 100 on the bottom there. What do you want for it? I didn't see any at the show. I really want to own this card. So he shot me a number. I said sold. I had it 3 days later. and you can see that it's a little different than that's the base card. The base card is kind of silver, and then the exclusives is gold, and it's easier to see on the back. Like, you can see the silver strip here and the gold. Well, I guess I should do that, but the silver strip and the gold. So it's all in gold. It's a beautiful card. I mean, this happens to be number 50 of 100, and he owns another one, which is also came back in 9. So he had 2 9s. So he was 14. He was nice enough to sell me one. And he has one I have that's 2% of the 100. Even if the 100 are out there. Very happy to add this to the collection. I would gladly add another one. I told him if you do ever want to sell the other one, let me know. Just because it's again, this card is about to turn 20 years old, and it's number 200. It's Michael Jordan. I mean, so I started thinking, well, what else can I pick up? Well, I started thinking to myself, well, what about Tiger Woods? So I went ahead and picked up this 2002 SP Limited. Essentially, it's SP Authentic. You can see there the logo. This is a gold. It's number 200. It happens to be. There's a few different in this subset. I don't think technically this is technically I think it's 137. So technically it's a base card. It's just a really good looking picture on the front. 2002, so it's probably taken in 01, so right at the height when he was, at the top of the peak. And this is obviously the old CSG slab. Probably would look better with the black flip. The flips themselves are still the same size. They just happen to look trimmer because of the black going around. So it just looks trimmer. So maybe I'll have this re-slabbed. We'll see. They do require membership to do those type of things. So that's just a fantastic looking card, in my opinion. Very happy to have that in the collection. And like I said, there's only 100 of them. And that card is 20 years old. Let's see. I got a couple other Griffies before I finish. I picked up this, again, another surprise win. It's an auction. You never know. From 2007, Bowman Chrome. This is the blue refractor Griffey. I tend to stay away from the red stuff, but this is numbered to 150 on the back. And it just works with the red, white, and blue. And the etching. Pretty much the end of the etching. 07 saw the end. And Topps like totally cashing out, saving money for the last 15 years. Putting out what they put out now. So very happy to have that in the collection. And let's see. Picked up a couple hockey cards. I've talked about this before. I think, I think hockey is primed. You can't go wrong with Gretzky, obviously. But I think probably top of the heap guy right now is Connor McDavid. And this is from the 2021 Upper Deck Extended Series. Some call it Series 3. It's a clear-cut insert parallel. No, parallel. It's acetate card. So it's just like a reverse image on the back. I wasn't looking for this graded, and I'm not 100% thrilled that this has the baggy. I guess because it's the size doesn't fit the mold they have. We can talk about CSG molds another time, but the price was right. It's pretty much the same price as a raw copy. And the thing with these is, without getting into it too much, this release not very popular, 2020 extended series. These are hobby only. I think the hobby boxes are down to $60, and that should tell you something from a Upper Deck Hockey product. They're just not getting opened. There's really no incentive. There's a 200 card set, and I think it's 230 with the Young Guns, and I think there are 3 or 4 clear cuts in a case. So very difficult odds to get the particular card you want. And this is an all-star card, by the way. He's got his all-star uniform on, so that makes it a little less popular. But I went ahead and added this to the collection. So number 3 on my third-party grading top 4 is going to be SGC. Sorry, too many letters. SGC. Now, I buy SGC. I actually have a Connor another on the way. Hadn't arrived yet. These slabs are just bulky, cumbersome. I do like that they put the serial number from the particular card on the front. That's cool. They're just, it's not all that much bigger, but it looks all that much bigger. It's too much. They had a chance to get rid of this black gasket altogether, and I think it's plastic now. It used to be cardboard, if I had to guess. I own a bunch of SGC, so I wouldn't call myself an SGC hater. If I was a hater, I wouldn't own any. But I think they can do better. I just think they can do better. It's just, people call this the Tux, and I have exactly one friend that owns a Tux. He happens to be a doctor. Everyone else, they rent Tuxes. They don't buy them. They don't own them. They just rent them for usually weddings or something super special event. So it is a little chuckle, ha ha, funny to me. Oh, it's Tux time. Look at this Tux. Yeah, no one keeps the Tux. They rent and get rid of it. So I think that they could do a better job. They should, they're not new. That's another thing. They've been around since the 90s. They're not new. They're getting treated like they're new, but they're not new. And I'm not even talking about the resale stuff. That's for another time. So obviously that leaves 4th place in my book is BGS. Just the slabs are too bulky. The baggy. I'm so over the baggy. I bag, pun intended, when PSA puts them in there. When, like I just showed you, the McDavid has a baggy. It's terrible. It takes away from the visual presentation. So does this. It's just, I don't know. And the fact that they just, they don't seem to care. That BGS just does not seem to care. We can talk about the scam that is the grade, the auto grade. They just, another way to charge the submitter $2. And it's been that way for 25 years. I had to stretch I haven't intentionally bought a BGS slab. I couldn't tell you the last BGS slab I bought. I still have them on my search because I'll buy a BGS slab for the right price overall copy. Because remember, as we near the end of 2022, we're doing all of our well, most of us are doing our transactions on the internet. You know, I'm not fortunate enough to have stores or shows nearby. So, a couple other pieces I got in. We'll wrap it up tonight. I appreciate you coming back. I appreciate your support. So many of you have reached out to me privately. It makes me feel very good. So I picked up this 2016 Upper Deck Connor McDavid Clear Cut Superstars. As you can tell, from Shane, Shoebox Legends, have rubbed off on me with the acetate. But, so I won this, and embarrassingly, it was like the price of 2 blasters, a little less. And it was just, I had the front image and the back image. And I'd never seen one of these in person before. But, so I got it in the mail, and it's in a baggie. I kind of knew that when I bought it. But like I said, the price was right. And, I don't know if it's going to show up. Like, it's got the foil shine. It's got acetate, you can see on the sides there. It's a very well made card, actually. It's got layers to it that I'm not really going to be able to pick up on the, I'm not over analyzing. Oh, this is this grade, this and that. I want to own the card. I want to know what I'm getting in the mail. That scratches on the slab. And so yeah, it's a very well made card. I think the odds are very long on this. I love how the logo is foil. And just a big fan. And but not so much of the slab because it's kind of bulky, but it's understandable because of the nature of the card inside, so you can't really complain too much. So I've got one more thing to show off, and again, I appreciate your time spending with me. Please, leave a comment below. Obviously, this is a very, very hot button topic. The grading wars, or whatever it may be. Obviously, there's no wrong way to collect. I've got friends that are diehard SGC guys. I've got friends that won't touch anything that's not PSA. I have a few friends that have, turned on to CSG, but it's been slow, and I expect that. And I don't know if I really know anyone that's still diehard BGS, but that's a sign of the time. So the last pickup, I had shown the Jordan counterpart to this that I had picked up at the show, and I had looked at a PSA 9 of this at the show with your friend of mine, Josh, rated rookie, and the dealer whose table it wasn't there. Like, the asking price was way high. So, and the dealer who owned the table, owned the card, was not there. So, when we had gotten home, Josh had shot me a text with a link to this auction, and like good friends do, I said, well, you're going for it, because if you're going for it, I'll leave it alone. He says, no, I have one, it's all you. So I wound up winning the 1994 SP Hollowview Red die cut, Ken Griffey Jr. And yes, it's in a baggie. I knew that. It is what it is. I don't think they'd reholder this without the baggie. But this goes really nicely with the Jordan from the same set. These are the two big boys in the set. Much like the Jordan, this was a card I didn't think I'd ever own. I remember pretty clearly this came out 28 years ago in 1994. I opened a few boxes and never got lucky with this, and I don't remember what the boxes cost, but they were not cheap. So very happy to have this in the collection now. And yeah, so I've got a few things coming in, nothing huge. Like I said, trying to do this quality thing over quantity has been pretty tough. just because you have to wait. That's the difficult part, the waiting for stuff to show up. Because you're waiting and you're waiting, and then ooh, it showed up. And then if you don't, oh, I can't pull that one off because I use those funds on something else. But again, I want to thank you for your time, especially if you're still with me. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. Evidently that thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever floats your boat. Evidently that's what the YouTube algorithm likes. We want to, spread the word, and maybe I'll try to come up with some kind of fancy title for this episode.